Hello, YouTube. Looks like it's been about 4 years since I last uploaded a video. So, let me get to some housekeeping as far as the channel is concerned. First, let me say thank you to everyone who left a comment, the like button. I do appreciate all the interaction. So, as far as making YouTube videos, I didn't really feel a need because I was doing other things from making art, going to the gym, going to work, all the other, day-to-day life stuff. So I felt I needed to take a break from it. However, I will be making a comeback sometime in the future. I do have a VTuber body I'm currently working on, and I have plans to do live streams. I just don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or some other platform. So follow me on X for updates as things progress, and stay informed. Okay, update over. Okay, from this point on, there's going to be a lot less editing in the audio department. So you're going to get a lot more ums and oohs and inhales. Sorry about that. I just don't have time to do any more editing, as the update kind of suggested. So here's a project that, or at least an art piece that was commissioned for by Mr. Dapperton. Follow him on X. And he was working on a little indie game involving the cat of H.P. Lovecraft. I can't say his name because it's a controversial name, which is kind of the premise of the game. That was the majority of the information I got. That, and he has a gun. A cat with a gun. That's kind of it, with some like Lovecraftian monsters. If you haven't figured it out by now, I was kind of brought into the project pretty late in development. And there was some idea for me doing monsters and other character stuff, but time was a factor and so was the money. So we settled on just doing some promotional artwork. However, in the meantime, while I was working on that, he felt like to get the game out and ready, he decided to do some AI art for promotional stuff, and it was just supposed to be like a placeholder. However, because it was AI art, it was not seen very favorably by the community, as AI is a pretty hot button topic right now for obvious reasons. A lot of people are concerned about future employment, about future job security, about future anything in the art world. So it's not an unreasonable concern. However, I think some people do tend to overreact just because it is such a hot button topic right now. So to give a bit of a context about this particular image, um, because there's all this work and all that kind of stuff, it took me about, I'd say, 3 days to make it, simply because I had to come up with a basic outline and then had to get approved and had to go back and forth and make any changes as we went by. But because time was a factor, it's kind of like, yeah, it's okay, just finish it and we'll call it done, because it was there was some drama going on that I wasn't aware of, because I'm just the guy drawing a picture. All the other interaction with the community and publishers and all that kind of stuff, that's on his end. And so I was kind of oblivious to what was going on. I knew that there was something because he had mentioned that there were people throwing a bit of a fuss about it, which, again, understandable. But there was, like I said, things, we live in interesting times. Let's just say that. So now that the picture is done, it's official, it's out there, everything should be good now, right? Well, turns out no, it's still not, because despite the fact that I made this picture, me, Samaj, an actual human being, there's still an accusation that it was generated by AI, because the original art that was posted was AI. Now, for me personally, I think that now we're reaching levels of obscurity, because now we're just doing a witch hunt, simply because you did this once before. Why should we believe you that it's real now? So here I am on my channel. I've already posted it on X. I uploaded a quick 30-second clip to help illustrate that it was actually generated by me. And I used an app called Procreate on my iPad, which I do all my art on. I love my iPad. This isn't an ad for Apple. I'm just saying it's a good product. I enjoy the iPad, and I really enjoy Procreate. So anyway, yeah. So Procreate has the feature to let me upload a full QuickTime video or a 30-second one, and so I uploaded the 30-second one to X with no audio because I was just doing it real quick because I didn't know about this drama going on involving accusations of AI art. So there we go. Now here I am. I guess defending myself, even though there's no accusations levied against me. But I did want to point out that this is real. I am a person. It's okay. We can calm down now, guys. I understand tensions are high. Fair enough. But now, yeah, just give the game a shot. I haven't had a chance to give it a shot only because, like I said, I was put on late in development, so I haven't even had a chance to. I don't even know what it looks like. I will fix that though. I'll put a link in the description so that way you can all check it out. And at the very least, support an indie developer. Okay, so now I've rambled on for about 6 minutes, give or take, talking about drama and accusations and all that kind of stuff. So now I'll get talking about the actual art itself. So this is interesting because I don't get to draw many monsters, even though I think they're kind of fun to do. So, but this one wasn't too much like a monster. I'm doing a Lovecraftian Cthulhu kaiju in the background with a little destructed city, and because I had to make this image as quickly as possible, you'll notice that the buildings in the back were not like the most detailed, which is like fine. I hate doing buildings, but I'm also of the opinion that you don't need to be highly detailed in all things when you're creating an image, just of the important stuff. So like right now, you can see me making the gun, and you can see me I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I didn't trace over that. I did actually Google it to try and find a gun to get the right proportions, so that way I can make it as best as I can. There are some, I believe there are some irregularities in the way some of the image looks, only because I had to do it fast. I didn't have time to make it as detailed as I could. So I mean, I did the best I can with the time I had. So I mean, it is what it is. I still think it came out relatively good. But anyway, I was going to say that a lot of the art that gets made, you don't really have to put too much work into the details. You don't have to be photorealistic. There just has to be enough visual information for you to know what it is that you're looking at. So, like, if you were to go to old, and there's a series of French books out there, they're published in English, called Tintin. If you've ever gone through a Tintin book and you look at the backgrounds, sometimes they're very simple little lines, but they work for what it is. And part of the reason why they work, because there has to be just enough visual information for you to know what it is, and that's often good enough. So when you look at that destructed cityscape in there, that was my philosophy. Is like there has to be just enough information in there for you to know what it is, and because it's supposed to be a burning city. Which there again was another problem. I didn't know if this was taking place in modern time or like Victorian London or something. I didn't know, so I just did a modern city. It could be completely wrong to the game, but then again, if you play the game, you can tell me, and I will figure it out for myself. Now, as for doing the Cthulhu character, uh, I didn't want to get too into the muscles. I just did quick little brush strokes, and there had to be enough information to show that there's some detail in there. Um, Here at this point, you can see me adding details to rubble. I don't get to do rubble very often, so it was actually kind of fun. I had to simplify everything. Everything had to be simplified. So like I just did like basic shapes and just duplicate it, make it look like it's like a 3D object. Some of you may think I'm putting a lot of detail in here, and to me, it's not that much. Like I said, it had to be just enough detail. So I think I did a decent enough job. I think I did too much detail on the cat's fur. I think that I could have simplified that a little bit more, but I think I mean, it works. It works. But then again, he is technically the main character, so I should put some detail into the main character. And yeah, now we're doing the rubble on the other side because I wasn't sure if I was going to do like a destroyed building. When I first did the sketch for this image, and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm kind of rambling, partially because I'm trying to fill up the the 12 minutes it takes to make the video. But when I was working on this, in the original sketch, I was doing like a hellscape kind of thing with like melted stone. So it was a very different kind of concept, but it's good to get something going here. So yeah, now it's like towards the end point of the image, and when you reach the end point of the image, you try to add little details, anything that you missed or anything that you would need to just try to sell it as an actual picture. Because let's be honest, like even though you're not really going to see some of these details, it's good to put them in there because it does add to the overall image towards the end. Granted, if I was making like a comic book or something, I probably wouldn't put this much detail into something, just because it's kind of unnecessary. But I also need to make the characters stand out visually just enough, so that way you know what you're looking at here. Because I'm trying to go for like a Lovecraft, and the most iconic thing of Lovecraft is Cthulhu, even though he has a whole pantheon of creatures and ancient old gods that you can draw on. Um, I will admit I'm not the most learned Lovecraft guy. I have gone through quite a bit. I did read the Call, the Mountain of Madness, and some of the other Lovecraftian books. So yeah, at least I've done some, which is more than more than some of those so-called Lovecraft fans out there. Anyway, so we're about to be reaching the end of the video. I will say thank you all for putting up with my little rants and the channel updates and my 4-year hiatus. Hopefully, my next upload won't take an additional 4 years. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Please, if you get an opportunity, please give a chance and go download Lovecraft's Cat. It should be available on Steam right now. And give Mr. Dapperton a follow and let him know what you think about his little indie game. Hopefully positives, and if there's any improvements, let him know. Same thing with me. If you feel that there's something I need to improve on, by all means, let me know. Well, that's all for now. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.